Greetings once again, YouTubers. Lloyd Cousins here with another Breaking the Norm video. Today, since we started on the Barbarian, I shall now move on to the Bard. Of course, this is a Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons Breaking the Norm. Now, I have only played a Bard once, and that didn't last very long. Now, most people I have played a Bard with, in other players, have pretty much played the generic Bard. It's pretty boring. The usual has a single musician. Has a single musical instrument talent, or can dance, or can sing. Now that can lead to some pretty boring play, because once you've seen one Bard, you've pretty much seen them all. Now, Pathfinder allows for a lot of several different archetypes in both the Advanced Player's Guide, Ultimate Magic, and even in Ultimate Combat. Now, this usually makes them replace certain abilities, of course, but that's beside the point. I've never known anyone, apart from one person, and what the heck, I'll put the link to his channel up here, Mr. Robert James Fremantle, everybody. Do click the link. He does some, well, you'll be able to see me on there too. Back on topic. Most people who play the Bard is pretty boring, pretty generic, and Robert has pretty much been the only person I've known to come up with a crazy, unique character design for a Bard. Personally, in a more recent thought process on how one can play a Bard, I thought Bards are meant to be entertainers, aren't they? They entertain with music, song, and dance. That's three things. But where's the comedic? The comedian, the court jester, if you will, in the sense of a fantasy-based genre. And this got me thinking, how would a jester be possible to play in D&D? Or Pathfinder, for that matter, or any fantasy-type thing where you have the Bard? Then it came to me. You have the comedian, who tells very bad jokes. But the jokes are the verbal component for his spells to perform. For example, as a polymorph spell, what do you call a pony with a sore throat? A little horse. A bad joke, I know, but this would allow for a polymorph spell with language, if you take in language dependency on this, to have the opponent, or the target at least, be turned into a horse. This sort of comedic affair could actually bring a lot of fun to the table, not just in mechanics, but also in just RP terms. A Bard who's actually a comedian, and the comedic effect is what generates the spells. A lot of people just play the Bard too, saying, "Oh, I'm going to play my lute, ding, 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 ding." And that gets boring. I've seen that too much, and most of the time it's usually a gnome or a halfling. Again, with a gnome and a halfling, once you've seen them, what's the point? You've pretty much seen everything when you see that. Again, as Andy would say, what's the point of having a gnome or a halfling in D&D in the first place? Come on, people. Unless you could give me a very good reason. But that's a different video altogether. I'll give that a link over here as well. Now, I also want to know what you guys would do. How would you take a Bard? How would you change it? How would you mess it up? How would you change it from the norm? What would be so different about it? Because as I've said before, the norm adds for some good breaking the norm adds for better roleplay. And considering this is the Bard, it's pretty much considered one of the most boring of all classes that you could possibly play. So if you can spice it up a little, you can get a good group dynamic going, maybe. As before, this is Lloyd Cousins. Tough for now, people.